all over the world. But they are in that condition. And we are not an exception. Why? How much poverty do we have in the Philippines? National average is 32%. But 7 provinces in Mindanao has a poverty rate of 50 to 64%. Doubled, almost doubling the national average. Almost all in Mindanao. 2 in Visayas and 1 in Luzon. Are you familiar with the Human Development Index? Yeah, because as students, we research on this. And there are 3 indicators of the Human Development Index. The life expectancy, meaning the longevity, which is measured at birth, no? Now, do you know the longevity in the Philippines? The life expectancy? For female, no. The newest is, for the female, it's 69. It has lowered. And for the male, it's 63. I don't know why male has shorter life. We're drinking. Okay. Now, 182 countries according to 3 indicators. Life expectancy, which is the longevity, education, which represents adult literacy, and gross enrollment rate in the primary, secondary, and tertiary schools. And third, on the standard of living. The standard of living is measured by the purchasing power. Okay? Now, this is the result. 1 to 38 represent countries with very high HDI countries. Most of these countries come from Europe. Number 1 is Norway. Number 2 is Australia. Oh, we have a student from Australia, my student, Nas. Okay. You belong to the very high HDI countries. Okay. Number 2, 39 to 88, high HDI developing countries. Would you believe that Malaysia is now part of the high developing HDI countries? Malaysia, who used to be behind us also. Okay. 89, 158, medium HI developing countries. And where can you find the Philippines? Here, at the medium. At the medium. Except that it is 105. The rank of 105 out of 182. Okay? And then the fourth, which is 159 over 182, representing the low HDI, most of which are African countries. So you can just imagine the quality of life being led by masses of people around the world. If you think that the developed world is better off, it's not. Poverty is global. For as long as there is wide differentials in income across the world, there will always be global poverty. Okay? Now, let's go to the rights-based approach to governance and development. First of all, who initiated this? During the time of Kofi Annan, as Secretary General in 1997, he said that maybe we should reorient. We have to reorient the United Nations and the state parties of all the treaties into the concept of human rights. Because even if they have passed a lot of things and they have ratified as well, they weren't able to change the world, even at the country level. Kofi Annan said, human rights is for the rich and for the poor. Human rights is for the developed countries and for the developing countries. And never will you use human rights as trade-off. Meaning, if you want to maintain peace and development in Mindanao, don't kill the civilians. Okay? If you want to construct bridges, construct highways, construct dams, while you may be displacing communities, you should be able to provide social safety nets. You don't just displace people. Just like demolition and forced eviction, where you just demolish people just like that without relocation. Okay? Now, it was also during the time of Kofi Annan that a Human Rights Council was organized. What is this Human Rights Council about? This council gives equal importance to issues of development and security. Because as early as 1945, the UN created the UN Economic Social Council as well as the UN Security Council. But UN did not create a Human Rights Council. What happens if there is a council? The council is composed of member states. And periodically, it's the member states that review the status of human rights condition, the development condition, and the security conditions. So, there is pressure. Somehow, there is pressure. The Philippines was reviewed in 2007, April 2007. And different countries of the world raised a lot of issues against the Philippines. One of which is